employment is the only measurable metric visible to all that is difficult to manipulate locally. City Hall. LEDC, by the end of the 18th month, this committee will supply cost-benefit analysis. How much money in, benefit derived to London. If the result is negative, LEDC will be pulled into the mayor's office for direct oversight. Education of City Hall employees. After 2 years full-time staff employment, all employees are encouraged to pursue higher education. City will subsidize 25% of their correspondence or in-person tuition. Courses subjects reviewed for approval. All managers and assistant manager level will be encouraged to pursue post-grad, either correspondence or in-person. Correspondence schools can be within North America or overseas, where our employees can build relationships with business leaders, line managers from around the globe. These managers, assistant managers, will be our best ambassadors to publicize London's ambition for excellence. City will subsidize 25% of the first half of their education, 50% of the second half of their education. This will reduce the number of outside consultants, studies. Our staff will develop the confidence to take on whole projects because they will be making their own case studies for others to emulate. City managers, engineers, HR to help implement ISO 9000. If staff does not possess the skill necessary to implement this program, City will send the required employees to courses to get the education. No more outside studies at the preliminary stages of anything. Studies will be done in-house. Consultants are hired for the final proofreading and their stamp of assurance for insurance purposes. All heavy research will be done in-house. Road repairs along all major arteries. Repairs to be 24/7. Long term, unified bike path that is guaranteed safe. Bike paths that traverses London where one can bike from the university to White Oaks Mall. From Westmount to Argyle. Continuous bike path along the riverbanks that is complete safety for adults and children. Target 4-year completion. Train across center of London must be addressed. Unless railroad tracks are addressed, all talk of LRT means naught. But a plan must be in place by the end of the second year. We cannot have a 21st century city with a railroad across the middle of town. Once railroad track issue is resolved, traffic pattern can then be discussed. Otherwise, talking around the pink elephant without addressing the core problems, we are only fooling ourselves. If we don't tackle the tough issues now, when? Thank you. You bet. Ask all yours. When Patrick Maloney asks, yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Pardon? Paul, have you spoke to Western about the idea for the partnership, and are they excited about it?
No. There's much more I have to learn from them. It is a big issue. You cannot turn the governing body's mindset and their established policies that's been in effect for what, 25, 50 years? It has to be a slow process. And I want to approach and partner with the folks. It's not a demand, it's not an ultimatum, it is a conversation piece. It is a start. Because they have their own structures, their revenue stream, their reasons to get money in. And I understand that. But I want to say to Western, you are part of our city. Your students live here. You want your students to stay here when they graduate. Right now, not many of them do. They all leave. We know that. Because our population increase has been 0.9% per year for the last, 12 years. So that doesn't even replace the birth and death rate. So we are losing people. So the students, I hope they have they see the interest to say, we want London to be like Boston, London, England, or Singapore, where there is industry and great industries. HP wants to come here. Amgen or pharmaceuticals wants to come to London and set up shop because we've got the brightest minds. And I think it's in their interest to help develop that. I think they should be, they might be open.
Well, how
Yes,
is
sir.
that idea any different than the Medical Innovation Fund that the city's already set up a question?
Because we've had many, many industry and industrial fund setups, but nobody ever puts their heart into it. I am an investor. None of those guys, I would say, in City Hall are serious investors. So if you talk business to business, mano a mano, or,
Well, if we're talking about research though, right, you're talking about working with the research.
no, the patent, research is their department, but the research result, anything that has a potential, scientists cannot find money, they have a hard time. We will partner with them on that.
But they're already doing that though with the commercialization fund. How is this different than that?
I think we can do it on a bigger scale, on a better scale.
How do you change how many kids are graduating from high school?
How many what?
Well, you said you want 100% graduation
Yes.
rate.
Yes.
How does the mayor have any effect on that?
It is a provincial matter, but you and I are part of the provincial system. Unless we raise the subject, unless you want to wait for someone else to raise the subject, I'm not willing to do that. I want to set a bar that whoever's responsible will say, hey, wait a minute, that's my job, I better step up. Nobody wants to be saying, your department has 20% high school kids that didn't graduate. They want to do the best that's for their kids, right? So I'm just trying to raise the bar to the public so that and whoever's responsible will say, I want to do better, and that's my job.
So are we then suggesting that then the Ministry of Education will be answering to you on that?
No, but we are the municipality.
Right.
Provincial matters, the minister, they run their show for the whole province. But I can only highlight London's problems. We have 1 out of 5, 2 out of 10 kids, no high school education. Not acceptable.
Do you not think that if the experts in the education process could achieve 100% graduation, that they wouldn't be doing that already?
If those experts are so great, I have due respect for them, but I do not think, to be polite, we can do better.
Your sort of focuses a lot on accountability, and I
Yes.
think that's something that people like. I'm trying to understand who you would hold accountable relative to that specific issue if we're talking about increasing high school graduation rates.
Number one, you have to raise the issue first. If you want to quit smoking, you got to say, I got to quit smoking. The only one responsible is you. So I want to create dialogues with the minister, with the teachers, with the Thames School Board, to say, what can we do to make it better? I'm sure they are tackling it themselves, but to make it a public awareness issue is another issue. Not many people are aware that 1 out of 5 don't have graduation.
Further to education, you're talking about subsidizing continuing education for city staff. You're
Yes.
talking about 1,000 people.
No,
Yeah.
no. City managers, how many are there? We don't even know how many.
So it's just city managers?
City managers and assistant managers for the MBA, for the postgrads.
I see.
Whatever degree they want to pursue, but if they have a university degree, I would encourage them. But the first year is,
So what would that cost to do that?
my cost was $20,000. I paid you, you 21. That was my cost. My suggestion here is first year, we pay 25%. That's to encourage you, so you have some skin in the game. You have an interest to complete first year. Second year, we will pay 50%, because once you've proven your first year, most likely you will finish your second year. And there can be employment conditions that they stay with the city for a certain amount of years, so then our money's not wasted. Because they can jump ship once they got higher education, experience and qualification. They're very employable employees. But there's safeguards that can say, we subsidize you for this, you stay with us for a certain amount of return.
But if you're talking about managers and higher level supervisory positions, what percentage do you think already have MBAs? And
I don't know, I don't believe they have.
I would guess that most do.
I don't think so.
Would they have to
level?
do this to keep their job?
No,
So
no, it
it'd
is
be an
suggested.
option. It's
It
not-
is an option to improve. If they have an MBA, go for a PhD. Why not? Yes, but I want the City Hall employees to know, this mayor wants you to do better. Not for election purposes, but as your own advancement knowledge. I want you to excel, not just sit still and say, I'm a manager, I'm set for life, there's nothing else I need to do. I'm going to earn $150,000 a year, and that's it.
The other issue that I was intrigued by was this idea of not having consultants do preliminary reports on processes that are taking place at City Hall.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you understand that the city is very diverse in its dealings, from sewer work to waters to waste disposal, road building, very complex issues and diverse issues.
Hold it.
Yep.
How is it complex? It is just a sewer. We have men going to the moon and come back. So we are no different than any other city. It is not that complicated.
I think most people in City Hall would say to have somebody that has the expertise to do that kind of analysis from the outset and in all these diverse areas, it would be very challenging to not have consultants or people doing initial reports who have the expertise.
I
You're
respectfully...
going to train everybody up to do all the analysis on all the issues that face City Hall.
Didn't we hire engineers with a stamp? With a ring? They're supposed to be qualified, and they're supposed to be experienced before we hire them. How many engineers do we have on staff? How many studies, programs have they done? They can learn from that. From day one, they can take the responsibility themselves and says, this is easy stuff. It's just digging a hole. I don't want to belittle the program. I know they're complicated. I know, but engineers have their system. We have engineers in here who's done construction, sewage, grading, no problem. If the Burj can be built, the tallest building in the world, in a third world setting with no screw-ups, we can do better. And to bring that up subject, the Highbury water reservoir, it is just a concrete tub. Why did it fail? That is because there's no accountability, no supervision, nobody cared.
Would there be some thought you'd have on unions?
We work with the unions because I respect it. I'm glad you brought up that point, Patrick. I want the folks in City Hall to know this mayor is not a cutter. This mayor is for accountability. I do not want employees going home scared. Just because there's a new mayor, we're going to get laid off, we're going to lose our job. No. I want the folks in City Hall to know however much money, however egregious those contracts are, they were signed in good faith by the employee, the union, and the city management, whoever they were. Doesn't matter, that's in the past. I will honor that contract, the length of that contract. But the difference is, when that contract comes up for renegotiation, that is a different story.
Well, that's interesting. So what would be your approach to that sort of negotiation?
I want accountability. What do you do for your money, like that LECD? How many millions did we pump into it? How many jobs did we get out of it? And for the city union, to the folks, if we can pave a road for $1 million per kilometer, let's say, for a number, and Kitchener can do it for $500,000, what are we doing that's different? I think that's what I mean when we say London like a business, London City Hall like a business.